You are listening to ChartingWealth.com for Wednesday, the 10th of August, 2016. Now, we promise to try to keep this at 10 minutes or less. I've been going over a lot lately just because I love talking with you about so much of the training. We're going to try to keep the training more on the training videos. Of course, we will always try to respond to your questions, concerns, and problems and produce those videos as you need them at ChartingWealth.com. But and I've set an alarm, so it's going to go off. You'll hear it if I go over 10 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it at that because that's what we want you to devote to the market every day. Listening to this, filling out your market worksheet. If you don't have a daily market worksheet, sign up for the videos at chartingwealth.com. You will then get our email every day, and attached to that is the layout. We just uploaded a new layout to Charting Wealth yesterday. You'll also, that is the layout to freestockcharts.com. In addition to that, you will get our How to Read a Stock Chart video, and you'll get our daily worksheet. Links to all of those. Now let's jump into the market, see what we see. We always start with IYY, which is our total market index fund. In other words, it tracks the whole market. What do we see going on with IYY? Well, we see the derivative oscillator continuing to lose energy. We see the MACD and the signal line appear to be getting closer together. We see the market moving up again a little bit, 0.06%. That's more than the 0.01% yesterday. And again, that's not a percent, that's a tenth of a percent yesterday, 0.6% today. That is on Tuesday. As we go into Wednesday the 10th, we see that we do have the last 2 days. The first day of the 2-day candle ending on the 9th. We see that it is a green up candle, as was the 2-day candle ending on the 8th. The prior two 2-day candles on the 2nd and the 4th of August are both down candles. We're continuing to move in an uptrend. If we look at our 4-hour chart, what do we see going on? We see, of course, basically sideways slippage, a lot of that since the peak on the 8th, where the market peaked out. It's been sliding sideways some since then. Again, lost a little energy in the afternoon. A spinning top means indecision. And we see the MACD and the signal line on the shorter chart coming closer together. Those of you who jumped in probably jumped in the afternoon of the 5th of August. That was Friday. Again, we just seem to be getting closer and closer to a top. But if the market tells you to get in, my friends, you get in at that point. You watch closely. Be ready to pair yourself out of a position, but let the stock charts guide you. Now that's the total market. Let's drill down into 2 more indexes before we get to gold. The first is the S&P 500, as represented by SPY. It was up the same as the total market, 0.06%. Doesn't happen all that often. Both up the same. It looks like the S&P 500 lost a little bit of energy on the derivative oscillator, and the MACD and the signal line continue to move up together but are getting closer. 2 up candles for our last 2-day candlesticks. Again, the one on the 9th will end on the 10th, so it's only the first half of that. The candle may get bigger, may get smaller. You may see the wick get longer as the candlestick pairs itself down. Who knows what the next day will bring. We'll continue to watch for that. If we look at the 4-hour chart, again, remember we're in a confirmed up move on the weekly and on the 2-day chart, crossed over going up. Maybe some of you got in there on the afternoon of the 5th of August. And what did the market do? Well, it continued up since then. That was the entry point after the pullback had ended. Now that pullback started all the way back on the 19th of July, lasted a while till it crossed over there in the afternoon of the 5th, moving up. Now, if we go back to our 4-hour chart, go from our 4-hour to our 2-day chart, and we take a look at the Qs, we see that the Qs has continued to boldly move up ever since it crossed over back on the 11th of July. Plenty of entry points on our 4-hour chart. Those of you who don't quite know what I'm talking about when I talk about pullbacks, I want you to sign up for the newsletter, and when you get it, follow the link to the How to Read a Stock Chart video and you'll understand what we're talking about. When your big chart is moving up, we wait for the smaller, the 4-hour chart. It's like a smaller wave, all right? When it backs up, that is when it crosses over going down, as it did back on the 19th of July, basically what's happening is the market's taking a breather. The safest point to then jump into the market is when it restarts its upward movement. That happened on the afternoon of the 20th of July. If you would have gotten in at that time, the low was 112.62. The high was 113.65. The market closed at the end of the day on Tuesday at 117.03. Now, that's less than a month. That's about 3 weeks. Is that not an incredible return in that short amount of time? Whoever's book you're looking at, that kind of percentage gain, why does that happen? That's because we follow the stock charts and not the noise. We set up simple rules and we follow them. Do these rules allow us to get into the market all the time? No. We only get into the market when the market's as safe as it can be. Do you lose sometimes? Yeah, you do. But you pare your losses quickly, you maximize your gains, and you minimize your losses. The first thing you always want to do is preserve your capital. So what do you do to start figuring out how this works and how to read a stock chart? Whether you're a value investor or not, who goes on to a car lot and buys a car at full price? Idiots. Why would you buy a stock at its high? You always want to be able to read a chart, figure out where the best purchase and sell points are. That's what we try to do. That's what reading a stock chart does. The way you practice, go to an online broker, set up a virtual account for free, put $1 million in it, become a virtual millionaire, and start practicing with us 10 minutes a day. That's all you've got to do. Then, when you feel comfortable and good about it, you can indeed make your own decisions later. I'm down now to about 2.5 minutes. So let's push through our last chart before I get long-winded again. We're going to look at the 2-day chart. What do we see going on that 2-day chart? Well, we see gold crossed over going down back on the 8th, and it is in a confirmed crossover down on the big chart. It was up 0.41% for the day on Tuesday. Let's look at the 4-hour chart because as we've discussed, the 4-hour chart has gotten better and better as a solo trading chart. It crossed over going down back on the 5th, and it looks like it may have bottomed out. It sort of has hit a bottom around 127.45. It slid sideways ever since it hit that bottom, almost hit that bottom literally in the afternoon on the 5th, most definitely the morning of the 8th, and we'll continue to pay attention to gold. It hasn't crossed over yet, going back up. If it does, of course, you may want to look for an up trade. So that is where gold has ended up the day. We so appreciate you being with us. We want to know what your questions, problems, concerns are, what else we can provide to you. Make sure to fill out that daily worksheet by hand every day. It's important that you do it. It will help you have running documentation of what your thoughts are, where you believe the market was going, what you've been up to as far as doing your practice trades. The most valuable thing you can do, get that daily worksheet at Charting Wealth. Sign up for the newsletter. We'll send it to you. You can also find it at YouTube. You want to help us out? Please go to iTunes, subscribe to our daily podcast. You've made us as high as number 8 in the world on stock market podcasts. Also, you can help us out by subscribing to our daily podcast at YouTube. We very much appreciate that. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I know thousands listen every week, but the 1,000 hardcore subscribers, what will we get? Well, you will get the proprietary broadcast that YouTube will then allow us to do. Thank you so much for joining us. I am almost out of time. I'm going to hold to that 10 minutes. I got about 20 seconds left. We so appreciate you. Let us hear from you. Subscribe, chartingwealth.com. Lots of good training there. God bless. Take care of yourself and stay in this market. Remember, the charts are your guide to the market. They are your roadmap to riches. God bless you. Take care from chartingwealth.com. There goes the timer. Take care.